Hi everybody, welcome back to the Tetrix RoboBench video series. This is Tim, and today I'm excited to talk to you about another one of our parts packs that we've created to make your life a little bit easier when you need to purchase additional parts and pieces to create those bigger and more complex robots. This is one we call the hardware pack, and this is all about connections. These are all the kinds of pieces that you'll need to actually, again, build those bigger robots, put them together, and keep them together. We've got over 900 pieces. Again, this is just a sample of what comes in the part, but we're talking about over 900 pieces when you look at all of the types of parts that you're going to get in this particular parts pack. I'm going to start with the tools. You're going to get a set of the Tetrix wrenches that allow you to fasten the cap nuts onto your structures. You're going to get a set of hex keys that you can use on the other side of the socket head cap screws. You're going to get standoffs in 4 different sizes: 2-inch, 32 millimeter, 1-inch, and 16 millimeter standoffs. You're going to get an assortment of those. You're going to get, again, the socket head cap screws, 2 different sizes. You're going to get the button head cap screws, and you're going to get, of course, cap nuts. Last but not least, you're going to get the flat spacers, and most importantly, you're going to get a full set of the Tetrix Max quick rivets. Okay, now that we've kind of shown you what you get in this hardware pack, let me kind of give you some examples, because like we've done with our other videos, we want to kind of show why you might want to use these types of pieces. So I mentioned we've got 4 different sizes of standoffs. Let's kind of show you how those are come into play. And you can see that I've actually put these on a piece of channel. There's different lengths, and basically what you're doing with these standoffs is creating space between the different structural elements. So the idea is that if I need to create space, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see this. For instance, like a 32 millimeter standoff gives me the same amount of space between the 2 surfaces as if I used an actual piece of channel. So that would come into play, and you might want to use those standoffs where you really don't want to use a piece of channel, but you still want to create the separation between the 2 elements. And that's kind of also where the spacers come into play. If you need a standoff, but you need to create additional space between the elements so that you create the hole pattern alignment between 2 elements, you can add spacers along with standoffs to help create the proper distance between the structural elements and maintain the whole alignment and integrity between elements. So that's where those come into play. And again, last but not least, I want to cover exactly how we use the quick rivets, because these Tetrix Max quick rivets are very handy. A lot of times when we take the time to actually use the nuts and bolts and we put everything, tighten it all together when we're actually designing our robot, that can take time, and we don't always know how we want to place the pieces correctly together. So if I use these quick rivets, I increase the speed that I can actually create the different iterations. So I'm going to hold this like this to show you. There's, again, 2 different parts to the quick rivet. I have a base and I have a locking pin. So if I take the base, it actually goes through the small hole in the hole pattern for our structural piece, just like that. And then when I use the locking pin like thus, it holds it in place, and I create a very quick fastening system. So I can actually play with different types of designs. If I think that that's not the correct placement for that part, I can very quickly take those out and actually move it around to a different location, and actually then try that in a different place very quickly without the time I would normally spend with actually fastening securely the nuts, socket head cap screws, and the cap nuts. So again, that's where those come into play. And we can use those again to create channel to channel, flats on channel, and again very quickly creating or prototyping the different design iterations that we want. So I hope you found that informational. Please remember to check all of this out on TetrixRobotics.com. And like we always say, have fun out there, build some robots, and come back and see us.